All right, guys. Well, welcome to the Simply Be Found podcast. My name is John. I'm the Customer Success Manager here at Simply Be Found, and it's my honor and privilege to introduce our co-founders. Let's go ahead and start with Mr. Dean Koehler. Dean, introduce yourself. Tell us where you came from.
Well, I started life as a baby, as and turned into this. No, I seriously, no. My name is Dean Koehler. I have a background in engineering and became an entrepreneurial type of person about 35 years ago, and currently own 4 businesses. And Simply Be Found is my newest adventure. So that's basically what I do. But my main business is screen printing and embroidery.
Cool. How did you meet Rob?
He was my IT and website developer, and just one thing led to another. We've known each other, Rob, about 10 years now? Or has it been longer than that?
Probably 6 or 7.
No, I thought it was longer than that.
No, it would have been, actually, when we first met, Liv would have been not even born yet, but Megan was pregnant with her, so it would have been 7 or 8 years ago, I guess.
Gotcha.
Right.
So I'm actually in my office, which sits in the middle of my production area, so I apologize up front on any background noises that might be coming through.
Well, it looks great because we obviously love small businesses, and you are the epitome of small businesses. You've been doing this for decades. You've been helping your community. You've been working with the schools and healthcare industries and all kinds of things that has been very, very useful to the community. But let's go ahead and introduce Mr. Rob Downey. Rob, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to this point in your life with this business.
Well, I grew up in the small business. I grew up in the furniture business. And after, seeing all that and building that, I've always had the passion of small business. I've been in computer development since 1995 and website design and marketing. So I've owned multiple different agencies. I've worked and owned restaurants and have done a lot of different things through my career, but marketing keeps coming back to me. So I've sold big corporations over to venture capital. I've worked in venture capital as well, but my main focus is being able to develop software to let businesses actually market themselves.
Yeah, so it's obvious you're super passionate about small businesses. You've done it yourself for many, many years, and you just want to help other people be successful like you've been.
Exactly.
So with the change of marketing, you guys have seen things go from a traditional marketing kind of model to what we know today as more of an online marketing kind of scenario. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen happen, what brought us to today, and how we can benefit our small businesses out there.
Dean, I think I'll let you talk about your aha moment when we started Simply Be Found and kind of what that change was. But I would say we started Simply Be Found right at the very beginning of the pandemic. And we saw the need of this before the pandemic happened. The pandemic happening took it to a whole new level, and it's really increased it up.
Nice.
But from that traditional area, definitely.
Yeah, no, Rob was pushing on me to upgrade my website and doing some things, and was asking me to basically, how's my business ranking? And at that point in time, we were coming off a really good year in 2019. 2020, I said, we really don't need more business right now. So he goes, but how are people finding you? So the question that's what, so basically I pulled out my phone and said, find a screen printer near me. I'm standing in my showroom in the front office. And of course I didn't even hit the top 3. And I went, I didn't even know what to say. I never understood as a small business owner that I didn't understand that I needed this. And again, this happened in January of 2020, which was 3 months before the pandemic started. And at that point in time, we started having conversations about local SEO and being able to be found on voice search and making sure that, you're, because we don't have yellow pages anymore. So how are people finding you? They're using voice search primarily or internet searches. And I wasn't ranking. And so I discovered I had an issue. I happened to be doing well with my sales, but we started pushing on the local sales, and then COVID hit, and it basically saved my business. Where I have a lot of competition that disappeared because they weren't being found by local customers looking for services and products, and I was. So it was very fortuitous for me as my business, and then from there we started developing the platform.
Very cool. So you mentioned, you wanted to get found locally, and you mentioned local SEO. I think most people out there kind of relate online marketing or advertising, if you will, as being driven by a website. Can you talk a little bit about the difference between the searches that go on when people are looking for things just on a website and what that SEO looks like versus when people are maybe doing a voice search and using that local SEO? What's kind of the difference, and how do we integrate into the networks that allow people to get found locally?
Well, basically, I had a website, and Rob was want me to work on content because there is some value on search words on your website if they're looking for you. It's a SEO value, but it's different than what voice and local SEO is. We had the website, so I consider my website more of a online business card, if you will. It tells people more about my business, my services. We offer online e-commerce, which is done not as shopping like Amazon or eBay or something like that. It's a whole different process. So people weren't looking my website up and finding me, but a website by itself is good, but it's not enough to drive you. So when you use that, when you pick up, this thing right here, and we all do it, find near me a business, the website isn't really hooking to that. So it lands on a business profile that the algorithms that I've learned this over the last 2 years, that there's an internet algorithm out there, and it looks for matching up the search parameters with your business of your products and stuff. So that's the difference between it. I know a lot of people say I have a website, but I'm not getting any business. It's because the SEO for those searches isn't the same. I mean, it's still good. They're finding you, but they really have to know your name to find you. If they're just doing a broad search, they're not going to find you with just a website. So gotcha. That's my experience with that.
Very cool.
My answer to that one, John, would be your website. Anybody can build your website. I mean, you can go to Wix.com and build your own website. You can go over to GoDaddy. They have builders. All these people have builders. So a lot of the agencies that are out there now, they're using a builder. Most of them go to Elementor. We do. I've used Elementor since about 2 weeks since they came out. But it's one of those things to say you have this website, and now you have no traffic coming to it. So you can drive traffic to it organically by using SEO. Most people approach that as what I would refer to as global SEO, which means you're trying to hit nationwide. Well, as a small business owner, you don't care about national being found. You care about your local market. You care about your local service area. So now you narrow it down. So doing local SEO is different than just having a website completely. Local SEO means when they go to Google, they go to Bing, they go to Yahoo, they go on their phone, whatever it is that they're doing, Alexa, any of those devices, they're being found. Having just that website anymore is kind of like the field of dreams. If you build it, they'll come. No, not going to happen. You got to push people to that website to be able to get it to work for you. So, I mean, when I talk to our members, it's one of those things that you may have a website that your cousin did, or you might have a website that cost you $20,000 to do. If it is built right, our software will drive traffic to that website. And if that website can get you more leads by however it converts them, great. If we did it, we use proven systems to how we make everything work and to be able to drive those results. But having just a website anymore is kind of like the field of dreams.
Gotcha.
And I'd like to add on that, a little bit, Rob. I have that on my website. I have a leads where people can request quotes, and people would go on and find it and do quotes if they found my business. But after we started doing the voice, where people were finding me through mobile devices, desktop devices, my quotes have gone up significantly since the process started. So more people are going to my business, finding it than before I had the Simply Be Found platform working for me.
Okay, that's awesome. So I'm hearing some differences between global SEO being, more web-based, internet-based, and local SEO maybe being more voice search-based. Just for our folks out there that don't know some of these acronyms, can we dive into what SEO really means and some of the factors that really have an impact on that? Maybe how we're integrated in certain areas and things like that allows us to improve that for our members.
So SEO means search engine optimization. You have local SEO, which means you're optimizing it for your local area. So just regular SEO is nationwide. It's everywhere, actually worldwide. And local SEO means we're going to target you down to your service area.
Which makes sense, because if you're a local landscape business, you don't want to be advertising out in the Philippines somewhere. You want to be advertising local where you live and get results where you live.
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of these companies that do social media and everything say, "Well, we're going to go get you a bunch of likes." What they end up doing is they get people like over the Philippines, India, different countries, and get all these likes. Well, if they're not in your backyard, they're not doing you any good. Even if they're in the United States, if you're a barbecue shop down the road, it's not going to really help you being in Colorado and everybody's finding you in New York. It just isn't going to get you the business you look for. They're not going to travel that far to come see you. You have to be pretty damn good for that.
FedEx is great, but it's not good enough to get the food there hot, so.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what about some of these other things that affect the local SEO, like, reviews and questions and answers, and how we can generate and how members can use some of these things to increase their local SEO?
Well, I think reviews at the very top is a very big one. Being able to generate more reviews, it gives not only the proof of concept to your business, but allows people to be able to share their experience. And getting a bad review really doesn't matter. It really actually helps you. I don't trust anything that's 4 stars and only 4 stars, and they have 500 of them. I figure they went and bought them, which is illegal, by the way. But there's a lot of companies that do that. But it's one of those things to where being able to generate more reviews definitely gets you put up. Google's algorithm loves it. Bing's algorithm loves it. And voice search loves it as well, because it's analyzing how many reviews you have to be able to figure out where it's going to put you. It's not going to put you at the top if you have 500 one-star reviews. But if you have 100 3-star reviews, you're doing pretty good.
So the amount of reviews has an effect on your local SEO as well.
Yeah, the reason why it does, John, is if you have business A, so you have plumbing A and you have plumbing B. Plumbing A has 200 reviews. Plumbing B has 210 reviews. It's going to go up here if the rating is good enough.
Very cool. Now, we talked a little bit about negative reviews. I liken that to way back in the day in some of my early jobs. I was a server at a restaurant, and some of the best tips I ever got were when something went wrong at the table and I was able to correct it quickly. So in that regard, I can see reviews being, if there's an occasional negative review, it becomes one of the more important things to respond to, because you can show your community that, hey, I care about this. I'm not going to blow them off. I'm going to make this right for them. And I think that gives a little bit of trust with the potential customer or client in terms of, hey, they're going to take care of me if something goes wrong, and something goes wrong quite often,
So I say that you should reply to all reviews. Sorry, Dean, for cutting you out.
Okay, that's right.
Reply to all reviews. So they all have the same weight. When it comes to the human that's looking at it, they're going to definitely want to see more on the negative reviews than the positive reviews. But Google's algorithm looks at it very much the same. And don't use a canned response for every review. That makes it look so cheesy inside of your whole review piece. Dean, I'll hand it back over to you.
Yeah, actually, that's actually a good point, because I've actually looked at restaurants and they didn't have any low reviews. And in business, you have things go wrong. They do. But with our platform, responding is important, because I talk to business owners that say, oh, we're not ranking. And I said, well, how are you responding to reviews and how you deal with negative reviews? A lot of them say, oh, I never respond to them. I didn't know I had to. I said, well, you don't have to, but you gain more value by responding to them. But like you said, you can talk to your customer. If they give you a little review, you can reach out to them, resolve it. And with our platform, if they leave you a bad review, they have the ability to log back in and change that review rating. If you've worked through the problem, they may not give you a 5, but they may go from a 1 to a 3, which is better than a 1. But then you've given a response to them. We have the ability to edit that response to make it appropriate to the review, which is really key, because if they don't match up, and I've never really paid attention until I watched my adult children use reviews to make decisions on purchasing products. I never realized how heavy the world has become on looking at reviews. They say, oh, there's a product here and it's this price and this price. They actually look at the reviews, and that's kind of what they're looking at businesses too. That you may have 3 good plumbers that have been in business for 30 years, and one has horrible reviews and the other one has better reviews. They make the decision to go to the better one, at least for to start with. So reviews are huge. They're really important.
It almost sounds like they're almost an unpaid source of advertising that the member can capitalize on. You've got people talking about you, giving their opinion about what their experience was like. They're, in essence, doing advertising for you, and you can take that and move it around and share it, on other platforms and things that you might have.
I've definitely talked about how reviews are the new version of word of mouth. People trust reviews, even though they've never met Johnny over here. But my goodness, he left a review about that product. It must be either good or bad. People really trust that. That's where our minds and our brains have really developed or evolved, I guess, or possibly devolved, or I don't even know what word I use.
It's our sense of trust is more technology based than it was word of mouth. But people, that's how they communicate, is by technology. I've seen people sitting at the same dinner table texting each other instead of talking. So, I mean, I digress there, but we've really become so dependent on the technology for communication, and that's really huge.
Yeah.
I make my money off of technology, and I still don't really care for technology because it's always breaking. But that's just my opinion. But no, I don't know if social media has hurt us or helped us. In a lot of ways, I think it's hurt us in a lot of ways as a race, but we have to evolve and develop with it, because that's how everybody thinks now.
Right.
I mean, I remember the days when we'd go over and pick up the yellow pages, and the plumbing business now is AAA because he was trying to get ahead of the next guy, and the sales guy loving it because he kept upping the price every change they had. And hey, by the way, A Plumbing just became AA Plumbing. Okay, you want to go 3 A's? All right, good.
Well, you talk about yellow pages, Rob, and I go back far enough with my businesses where yellow pages is the only way you could communicate to the motivate. I mean, let's face it, you pull out your phone and you do a search for a business or property, you're motivated to make a purchase. And so that's what the yellow pages were. You take it out and you look it up. And like you said, it was all by name, by rank to score. But the beauty, I guess technology has helped businesses to if you're active in your business and you're putting the information out there, it doesn't matter if you've been in business for 35 years or 6 months. If you're active with our platform and putting the information out there, you're going to rank higher than people who've been in business. And it doesn't matter where you're at, what your name is. It's based on the activity, and that's where businesses are missing the point, in my opinion, today. Is it's the activity that you're doing with your business name on your business profile to get you ranked on a voice search or an internet search. But I didn't even know that I didn't know that when 2 years ago when I did that search, that I needed to do that activity. I've had the capability of it, but I just didn't get it because what the free stuff that's out there is just difficult to work with. I'm not a great technology person. I'm really good at my business. I do my business well. The technology I don't really go after, and I'm sure a lot of business owners are that way, where the technology gets in the way of promoting your business. But we've made it so I can figure it out. The old saying, a caveman can even do it. I wish that was my saying, but it's not. But that's what it is. It's simple enough that I can figure it out. And there is a learning curve in it. I'm not going to tell you there isn't, but it's way easier than the free stuff that's out there that you can send the information to. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, Dean. I think it's one of those things. The activity is one of the main pieces of every piece of the algorithm. Any of the algorithms I've reviewed or looked at or played with or tested on or however you want to look at, they all look at that activity level. When is this person recent? Because, if you haven't replied to review and you haven't gotten a review in 3 years, you're probably not going to be at number one anymore. Your competition has to be really doing as bad as you are for them to keep you at number one because nobody's done anything. So they're still just as bad as they're worse than you because they're exactly the same. But if you don't use the platform, it's not going to work for you. But you have to have that activity.
Yeah, and you guys are so knowledgeable about this stuff because you've been doing it for a very long time. I've noticed that there's some details that I wasn't aware of when I got on board. One thing that Dean is really passionate about is NAP. Dean, can you talk a little bit about that? These are kind of some of the small details that if somebody calls in, needs some support or just a little bit of advice, wants to look at a knowledge base article, things like that, we've got all this stuff stored on the platform. But Dean, if you could just talk a little bit about that and demonstrate kind of the importance of what a period or a dot or something that most people, I wasn't aware that was that important, but it really is. And these are the kinds of details that people with a lot of experience can quickly pull out. It seems like if I go to other advertising platforms, there's so much fluff, there's so much information, and there's very little support, and I automatically am just like turned off by it. But what really attracts me to this platform is people care. They care about the small business people because we're a community of small business people. So Dean, if you want to just kind of talk a little bit about how important NAP is, what it is, what the acronym means, all that kind of fun stuff, I think that would benefit some people watching.
Well, basically NAP or NAP is your name, address, phone number. And if you've been in business, I've been in business for a while, and what happens is you get people that come in, they sign you up for credit cards, and they'll put your information out there, and they might put the name street on it. They may put, avenue, who knows what, but little idiosyncrasies start to happen over time when you have a lot of people helping you with information. They share that information with other people out there, other people that collect data, and that information gets garbaged up over time. So when you sign up with us and you start your business information, you put it in there, and then we feed it, and that's the hard part. It really gets, how do I describe it? We take the information and we broadcast it out to the networks that are picking up this information and data. We're direct, so the term is we're directly integrated. There's a lot of businesses out there that say they're sending stuff out to, several, tons and tons of different networks, or citations is another word they call for that. But the information is not directly put in there. But our idea is we take that information, we directly feed it to these integrators, we integrate to these networks, and it gets consistency. And because when you say find a whatever near me, then you have to have that. What am I trying to say? What's the word I'm looking for? If you're not consistent, the algorithms that are doing the search and marrying you to that search parameter are confused a little bit because you have different information. So you may have you may have a letter and a special character, and then you may have a letter and the word, like the word and. You may have a letter and then you use the word and in some of it. It gets a little bit garbaged up, and that's what we do. We provide consistency, and it gets fed. Anytime you make an adjustment, we actually integrate to all those networks to keep you, as accurate as possible.
So it sounds like, something as simple as writing down street as ST period or writing out street as STREET could be a hang up, or people change their phone numbers often these days. And a lot of times they forget to change them everywhere.
Right. So go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
The whole internet's built on name, address, and phone number, which is NAP. So what ends up happening is the algorithm looks at you, and they've gotten smarter to where street, it should recognize that ST means street and street doesn't. But now you are counting on that algorithm to be able to make that decision. So by not making it make that decision, be updated everywhere and be correct is the best option for you to be able to do.
And that can be done all from our platform.
That can all be done from the platform, yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's move on and talk about some other things that are a benefit to people taking a look at us. One of the things that people are asking a lot right now is, how do I get unlimited ads? How is it that you're able to distinguish yourself from offering me unlimited ads to what I get, with a pay-per-click situation? What's the difference between us and everybody else that's out there?
So our version of ads is being able to put it into local spots that actually matter. We put it inside of your business profiles across multiple networks. So what we do is we send it out there. Google My Business or Google Business Profile is one of those networks, and Big Places is another. But we put it out there, so that's being advertised to the local market, and there's no charge for that. So we access those networks, and you can go do it yourself, but you'd have to go to every platform. You'd have to make sure you're doing it. Couldn't schedule. Somebody can schedule them now, but you'd have to go there and do it, and make sure you're saying the same thing on the same one, so that way you have accuracy between every network as well. Or you can concentrate this message on this network and test it over on another one with a different message. But it's one of those things to where our advertising is done more on posts and targeting that local customer rather than targeting wide. Google makes its money. Bing makes its money for putting in those top three. I don't think you get as many clicks in those top three as the natural, organic local listings that are below that. But that's just my opinion. Dean, what's your approach on that?
Basically, I don't do pay-per-clicks for my business because I've tried doing different campaigns. It ends up being really expensive, and people may look, but they don't buy. Where if you're doing it organically with the way we're doing our ad management with the posts, you can actually put a button in there. Like if they're using their mobile device, you can actually put call. They'll see something, and they can actually on their mobile device hit call, and it'll actually dial right to your business. So so they don't have to go look it up or anything like that. There's also you can also put a link in there on these posts for your URL. I always get that wrong. And Rob laughs at me because I always say URL. That Underwriter Laboratories is what goes in my head, unfortunately. So, but your web address, you can put that in there. I was just gonna say web address. Because not everybody knows what a URL is. Anyway, I've said that to people. They look at me like, "What are you talking about?"
And by the way, you got it backwards there. It's supposed to be URL.
Did I do it backwards again?
You just did it backwards.
Oh, good Lord! But see, that's why I hate that acronym. So you can put your web address on there, okay? So leave me alone. I'm an old guy. Leave me alone.
Well, you're probably not the only one that feels like that, Dean, and I think that it's great that we have a platform that's actually for the non-tech savvy, like people that are afraid of computers. Although I think most people are getting pretty comfortable with their cell phones these days, even if they're not comfortable with their computers. So, Rob, I'm going to pitch this one over to you. How cool is it? How fun is it to be a small business person with your device, being in the field, working, and having the ability to take some photos, start filling your gallery for posting those ads? I mean, you're right there and you're thinking, man, this would be such a cool thing to share with anybody that's looking at me. Can you just share a little bit about how you came up with those ideas and how you kind of designed that for the small business owner?
Well, I mean, if you look at any of your home service guys, your roofer, your plumbers, any of those guys, I mean, they can log directly right into their phone. So they can pick their phone up. They can go to our website address. We don't have an app at this point. We're waiting for feedback on the mobile version. So you have to access it from your browser. But once you access it from your browser, which is just going to our website and then logging in. Once you log in, you can actually go to either photos or you can go to posts. or ads, I should say. Click the button, and you can take that photo, you can adjust it, and then you can send it off and back to all the networks from there. You can schedule it, or you can do it later once you get back into your truck, or you can do it later from your computer if you send it to yourself. I mean, it's however style you want to be able to do that. Yeah. But it was designed to be able to work for that home service guy that wants to be able to do everything for on the go, which makes it really cool because most of the time they hop back in the truck from doing an estimate or a job, they'll forget to send it to whoever, so they'll just do it right there from the vehicle.
And I'd like to add to that, Rob, a little bit.
Go for it.
You're talking about people using their cell phones. If they're using their desktop and they may have to upload photos to their desktop in order to do posting, where they can actually upload the photos directly from their cell phone without having to go through another step. I mean, there's a lot of programs that are out there, but you have to do that next step. You have to upload it through an email process, or you plug it in like a mobile, like a what am I trying to say? USB port. Yes, thank you. And that's how they'd have to basically upload it from there, where they could actually upload it right from their phone to the platform and avoid a whole step, which makes it really easy because a lot of the contractors I know, they don't walk around with their computers. Their device is in their hand, and so they take their pictures and they can just upload them right from there, which is huge because then it takes out a step. You don't have to understand graphics or anything like that. You just bring it in. And our tools that we have on there are so easy to use that once it's in the platform, you can crop it. You can, so if you don't have the perfect picture, you can crop your picture, and it's just a drag and drop dot system so that you don't have to know graphics. You just have to be able to use a pointer and point to a corner and slide it around. So it makes it real easy for that. So
yeah, and we all know that small business people, especially if they're more geared toward service, HVAC guys, my dad just had his water heater replaced, and this guy was moving so fast. He had a sandwich in one hand, a clipboard in the other hand, and a cell phone between his arm and his body, and he's just doing everything at once. And that's how fast a lot of these small business guys think when they're out in the field. So I think it's really a huge, value to them to be able to do what they do anyway, which is working incredibly fast and serving incredibly fast. And they want to share it incredibly fast, but they don't always have time to think, well, let me write this down on my clipboard so when I get home I can do this, and so on and so forth. They can do it real time. They have 5 seconds to do it. That's all it's going to take them. So brings me to the next thing. How much time is it going to take a small business person to utilize this platform and make it work for them?
The average member is spending about 5 to 10 minutes a day inside of the platform. So they log in, they make sure they don't have any reviews. They follow our step-by-step program that tells them the things that they need to do to be able to have the best optimization and presence they possibly can. So if they follow that step-by-step and they're not getting like 100 and some reviews a day, which most small business owners aren't, the average member's spending about 5 to 10 minutes a day on there to be able to get it done.
Yeah. Well, cool. I'd like to add to that a little bit for that, Rob. I spend some days I do all my work for the whole week. Sometimes on it depends on what my work schedule is with my business, but it averages out about 10 minutes a day. My biggest thing that I had an issue with was, okay, there's a recommended number of posts to get you the most mileage out of your ads, and then your photos and the whole thing. And I don't have time to remember that. And I log in the platform before we added this. It's called the to-do list. We created this algorithm that's based on your activity with your business. And so when you log in, you see that, and it says, these are the things we recommend you to do. You don't have to do them all that at that moment, but you can click through them and you go, oh, okay, I created a post for this week. I've scheduled a post. It tells you, so I don't have time to learn about marketing and advertising. I didn't. That's probably the reason why I resisted when Rob was pushing me to do these things, is I didn't have time to learn this stuff. And we've taken that away. I mean, you'll start to understand it better as you use the platform. But when you first get started, you may not know that I need to do 3 posts this week because I haven't done any for a while. So we recommend, we have a little to-do list, and you can click on it and it'll take you right to the feature that you need it. You can actually do the function, and you're done. And so that's why it doesn't take that long, because you don't have to do I mean, I'm not trying you not to think, but you don't have to, you don't have to understand the world of advertising and marketing. You don't have to understand algorithms. That's our job for you. And that's why this algorithm was created, because it's looking at your competition out there a little bit, and it's looking at what your activity is, and it's telling you this is what you need to do to keep you ranking, to move you up on that list, to make sure that people are finding you on a search.
I think that's a really good point, because a lot of people aren't understanding what's my role in this, because small business people, they're very thorough. They want to do the entire job. So initially, we get a lot of new onlookers that are asking about this. They're thinking in their heads, I'm going to have to manage these networks. I'm going to have to do all this back end work. And I think it's really important for them to understand that, no, we do all the back end work so that you get found. Your role is to capture the content of what your day looks like, what you do, what you have to offer, what your value prop is. You're supporting that. And when people write in, whether it be a review or something I'd like to talk about next, question and answers, they kind of need to know what the difference is here and what their role is and what our role is. So if you guys can talk about that a little bit, so people can feel more comfortable that, hey, I don't know anything about computers, but now I think I can do this myself, because I'm not managing every single aspect of this. This is my part. This is what I do. And then these guys take care of the rest on the back end, so I get found.
Dean, I'll let you go for that.
Questions and answers. Basically, it is your frequently asked questions that customers always call you up. They say, hey, do you do banners? Do you do service calls at my house? Those kinds of things. We actually have it set up. So on your business profile, you can, a user can put in a question and it'll show up for you. Most businesses don't even know that the questions and answers exist. But with our platform, we actually allow you to create your own owner or member generated questions, and you can answer them yourself, because you have people that come in and they'll ask the question, you'll hear it on the phone. What is your turnaround time? What is, whatever that question would be. And I just love when my battery goes bad. Sorry about that, guys. But it gives them a chance to land on the profile to look and see, you state the question and you answer it. And that's really important. And what a lot of business owners don't understand, if somebody asks a question, somebody can actually post an answer over the top of that question that may not be part of your business and give bad information out there. So it's really important to stay on top of that, because when you answer it, then your answer is there. And if somebody throws another answer, it falls below it and may still be there. I don't think we have the capability of taking answers off, do we, Rob? I don't think there is. So you
can mark one as spam, maybe. I'm not sure if we've added that to the platform, but for the API, I think we might be able to do that.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think it's current. But it's kind of like getting a bogus review. You have to turn that into Google or to whatever agency that, whatever listing group we're with, saying that this is a bogus review or a bogus answer, and then they have to go through the process to remove it. But I don't know how that process works. I've never had one, but I've heard other businesses that have been sabotaged. So that's why it's really important to stay on top of it. And our platform allows you to stay on top of it. Like when you get a review, when you open up, it's going to say, you have one new review, please respond to it. So you don't have to, I know you get an email from it. It depends where the review comes from. You may not get an email, you may not get notified. And that's the whole point of our review monitoring, is it helps you do that. Same with questions and answers. If somebody puts a question out there, it says you have one new question that needs an answer to respond to. And so again, you don't have to pay attention to everything that's going on. When you come in, it's all right there in front of you, and it tells you. And I think that's the key point, is to stay on top of it. But we're so busy, small business owners, with the way things are, that we don't have time to chase it. So it's really nice just when you log in and you get to the homepage, it says you have new question, you have a new review. And again, that's that task list that we put together, so you don't have to do the work to think it all through. It basically guides you, and after you use it for a while, you get the hang of it. You don't need the guide as much, but you still use it. I do.
So if you're having a busy day, Dean, and things are just kind of coming off the rails that day, you got things, incidentals you're tending to and all that stuff, and maybe you get a few QAs that start backing up or a few reviews that are backing up. As a user, you can go right into the platform and you can easily determine which ones you've responded to, which ones you haven't responded to, what you need to do, and allow yourself a little bit of kind of strategic time to thoughtfully respond to these things. But the platform itself in those specific areas is going to allow you to know, hey, I've responded to this one, I haven't responded to this one's a critical one, I need to get back to this, all that kind of stuff.
Well, the thing on reviews a little bit on that, John, is industry, I mean, you need to respond to them as soon as you can. But different industries have different time constraints. Like if I was a restaurant and I get a bad review, I want to see it and know about it right away. So the way I'm going to monitor it's going to be way different than my business. I get, I don't get a review every day or every hour. So the rate at which you have to look at it is different based on your industry or your business type. So that's really dependent on, and it also depends on the owner, how fast they want to make sure reviews happen or how fast they want to get it. But again, you can monitor that by having the platform open. You'll be able to see that.
Right.
So
in other words, the member doesn't have to guess. Everything's not going to be stacked up exactly the same. You're going to see the difference between what you've managed or what you've attended and what you haven't. So you can kind of keep a mental image and budget that into your day.
Right. And again, you don't have to remember it. It's right there
right.
when you log in.
Right.
It tells you this is what we would like you to work on, and it prioritizes it for you a little bit. Say this is a little more important. This is less important, kind of thing. So that's the beauty of the homepage and our to-do list that we created.
Awesome.
So
and John, to go back to the question about roles, our role versus the business's role. So when you become a member of Simply Be Found's advertising platform, your role is to be able to provide all the content. You put everything in, you post it, you schedule it. You're in total control. You're at the driver's seat to be able to do all that. Now, it might be you as the business owner. It might be your assistant. It might be your wife. It might be whoever it is. I've heard people refer to that as everything underneath the sun. And some I wouldn't even repeat, and I'm usually willing to repeat anything. So, however you do that, you post out the information. Our system makes it easy for you to be able to run your ads, to do your posts, to be able to run questions and answers, offer coupons, and all the things that we do, the review generation. We make it all easy for you, and we put it all up front to you to where it's easy for you to manage in a to-do list. And we base the to-do list on what actions are most important and what actions are going to give you the best results. So it starts to learn you after a while and looking at how you're generating those results, and it kind of customizes that to you as a business owner.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And let me add a little bit more to that. Rob says that you do the work. You do the work. It should be your property. And we do. Yeah. If you decide you don't want to stay with Simply Be Found, we don't take your information down. We don't take your reviews down or anything that you did while you were a member with us. In the case in point with that, and why we do that is I had 22 reviews with with another person, and when I left them and chose not to be with them anymore, those 22 reviews were pulled down, and it really hurt my business because I didn't get to control that. I didn't get to keep it. Are they out there? I can find them, but they're not. They're not visible.
They lost color value.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That would be the word. So that was 22 reviews. That's huge, and that was over a course of about 2 years, I think. That we maybe not that long. I don't remember how long it was, but it really. I'm kind of going, well, where do these go? And I called up the company, and they said, "Oh, they're not yours. They're our property." And I said, "That's not right. That's not the way." And I didn't win the battle. But that's the thing that people need to be aware of, is that there's some people that are doing things that are what we're doing but they control it. I mean, you still do a lot of the work, but then when you leave them, you lose it. They pull it all down, and you lose all that value that puts you in that top 3. So,
oh yeah, that's 2 years of equity, really, for your advertising.
Well, and with that, Dean, what happens is I've seen this with different agencies out there. I've seen it with clients I've signed up for and didn't realize it was what was going to happen because of the fine print. But to where they go in, they do all this work, they put up all these questions and answers, they put all these posts, they put all these photos, and the minute they leave them, it's all gone because it was all on their servers. And
so they got to start over again.
You got to start all the way over. You just lost all your value overnight.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I've seen with websites with people who go from one web designer or developer and go to another, and they don't know what to request, and that new person might not know exactly what they need to do. Next thing you know, all the blogs the last person wrote for, everything you paid for is gone. And all the value they worked for is gone. Now you're stuck with it starting from scratch again. Yeah, you get a little bit of authority, but you're going to lose it really fast because it's wondering where all those pages went.
And I mean, that alone should encourage anybody who's considering the platform and becoming a member of the platform with supreme confidence. I mean, we care about you as a small business owner all the way through. We're not here to take your content or do anything that's not going to absolutely help you in your business and your goals. So with that, you talked a little bit about events, Rob. Can you talk a little bit more about, some of the industries that would be relative to how they can schedule it out, how it helps them get their event out there so that people know where to find them and whatnot?
Events would be used in different industries, different ways. You might have events of some kind of speech you're coming up with, or you're going to be at this conference, or you might be a restaurant, and an event to you might be that band that's going to come in, or that comedian that's going to come in, or the clown's coming in to entertain kids that night, whatever it might be. An event for a restaurant also might be some kind of special night. Say they're donating X amount of profits over to somebody. Events is anything you have a beginning time for and an end time for on a certain specific date or date range.
Okay. So if I'm
How would you approach that?
I don't run events, so I don't really.
Dean is the event.
Yeah, no. But we may have a sale that's coming up, and so I guess I do run events. We're having a clearance sale, or we're having, come in, everything's 50% off today for that day, like that. But one of the banks I'm with, they're doing a community shred-a-thon, and if I wouldn't have seen an email pop up on social media or whatever, I wouldn't know about it. So that's a great way, and it's not targeted. So if people are looking for, my business or a bank or whatever, then they're going to see that, because they're going to see that in that ad management area where posts are fall on your business profile. So they can see that. And then let's see, if I remember right, Rob, after the event's over with, those events come down off of your profile, so you don't have those things hanging out there.
Profiles. There's some that stays on as a past event.
Right. But it still stays on.
There.
Yeah, but what's nice about that, if it's something you do over, like you do a Mother's Day sale over and over every year, when you do that event, it stays on our platform. If you want to reuse that and repurpose it and rename it, you can do that. So so you can. It's really a nice edit function that we have, so you don't have to recreate everything every time if you don't want to.
So that sounds like to me, Dean, your business might benefit more from our offers and coupons feature, promo codes, things like that. I don't know if it does, but I think it's something that's pretty trendy these days.
Yeah. Well, everybody loves a coupon.
People try coupons. I try coupons all the time, even if I don't even know if it's going to work for a coupon.
I know.
And since we went live with Simply Be Found, I can see every time somebody does a coupon that doesn't exist. And a lot of other people try coupons that don't exist too.
Well, we've seen people put in coupon names like Free for Life.
Right.
It might work. I don't know. I hope it doesn't work, but
I must start using it to see if it works one time. I like free. I'm a cheap ass.
Yeah. But but people come to your business because of coupons. Because if you're willing, I'm willing to come to you anyway. But hey, if I can get an extra 5% off, 10% off with this coupon, that just helps me to make that decision a little easier to come to that business or that industry type. So.
I don't know a single business type that has never had a coupon. I've even seen doctors run coupons. Dentists run them all the time. I've seen lawyers offer coupons. But a business is going to either have a coupon or an offer. A coupon and offer is something that can have terms on it. It can have an end date. It might have a promo code. But we make it really super simple for your business to put it out there. From testing I've done with a couple clients from my past that I do their marketing on, and from members I've talked to, they said they've gotten better results out of our offers and coupons than going to something like a Velpack or coupon book.
Right.
Wow.
You talk about paper coupons like that, and the thing is if when we do a coupon with our platform, it'll actually be on the phone. If that's what they're using, they can actually pull that up. They don't have to keep track of it. I clip coupons. I always have. I use the Velpack and I hang on to them, and I put them in my car above my dash or whatever, and then they fall out. Then they're ruined, and then I go, oh, I was going to go to this restaurant because they had this great special, and then I can't find the coupon.
Or it's expired.
In most small businesses, if you go in with an expired coupon, they may or may not honor it. But the problem is it's just you just have to track it. You have to have a coupon book, if you will, like you watch. I have family members that they have coupon books. They put all their paper coupons in there, and they go through and they shop and they do that, and that's okay. But not all small businesses have that kind of coupon code things going on. But I think it's valuable, and people, they like to save money, and if it's a great way to get somebody in your door. So I think it's really nice. Like Rob said, you can put dates on it as well, so it expires. And then I think you can even take it down if you wanted to. I never recommend taking down if it can stay up, because it adds value to your profile to leave it up, even though things may have expired. They say, oh, you had this going on. Are you going to do it again? Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say what goes on in the minds of consumers at times. So.
Well, we all want a deal, so we've got that functionality and that feature if that works for a small business, and it's super easy to use and convenient, and bam, away we go. We're competitive at that point.
There you go.
I know when I'm shopping, I want to look at the deals I don't know about and inquire about those things, and it's one of the first things I look for when I'm considering a number of different competitors. So very cool. Well, to wrap up, we're talking about all the things that are of value to small businesses and how they can use.
Before we wrap up, John, can I throw one more thing in there?
Absolutely.
The other thing that's really important is the business hours for a business. Nothing's worse than driving up and seeing, you think they're open and they're closed for that day for whatever reason. And that's another key point that we should throw out there right now on the platform, is that business hours. I actually was looking at my doctor's office the other day, and I wanted to know if they were open, and it says hours, and they're not working. A lot of businesses need to take attention to that, pay attention to that, and make sure that the customer knows, because it's infuriating to go out of your way to go to a business and then discover they're closed. And that happened to me at the restaurant. I missed out on an opportunity because they closed for 2 hours. I didn't know that, but our platform allows you to adjust your hours that day, so that if something changes, if you, for whatever reason, with all the, I don't like to use the word COVID for an excuse, but people still have, health issues because of it, and they may not have staff, especially like a restaurant, they don't have staff, then they would be closed because they don't have coverage for those low peak hours. So, God, I hate that battery. I got to fix that thing. Sorry about that, guys. So, but anyway, but you can adjust on the fly. If something happens, then you can show the customer that it's closed, and then people will respect that and they honor that better.
Yeah.
So
that's a really good point.
I think you definitely have business hours, but you have business information. All your business information definitely matters, and keeping it up to date. And we update all the networks from one spot. So any place that we integrate with, which our integration list is growing every week, it's one of those things to where we can add it all up and change it on all those different platforms. We're not like the traditional aggregators out there that just blast out and sell your information and hopefully that you get some business out of it, but I guarantee you're going to get a lot of salespeople calling you. We actually do a true integration to where we're 100% integrated with that platform. We're working with them. We're dealing with any problems that they have, and it's one of those things to where I think that's a lot more powerful for a small business.
I agree.
The other thing, John, we didn't touch on is we didn't touch on restaurant menus at all. Dean, do you want to talk about restaurant menus?
Basically, the restaurant menus is a new feature that we're adding, and it allows the restaurant owner to come in and set up their restaurant, their menu, and it can all be viewed online on their website. We have it integrated. What's the proper term? We can take that information, feed it, embed. We can put it in embed code. It's being developed so that it'll land on your website. A lot of restaurants just take pictures of their menu and post it on their sites, and that's just not a very convenient way to do it. This is very interactive. You can add information. You do daily specials, and it's just really a real nice thing for restaurant owners to use, so that they can have it dynamic. They can change it. So they may have a spring menu. That, if they do a lot of organics, they may run a summer menu, which may be different than their fall menu. So once they create these menus, they can display them, or they can take them down so that they're not being seen, and they can add a new one. So it's really, really, really important. You can add photos. You can add any information you want, as far as if it's a gluten-free, if it, whatever you're after, like, it's made with milk products or whatever. So it's very customizable, and I'm really excited to see this in play. We're still in a little bit of development mode on it, but it's going to be just, I think it's just going to be fantastic to look at.
Awesome. Well, just to wrap up, I just wanted to ask you guys, what other ideas, thoughts, important points you think some of our viewers out there might be interested in, just to help them understand the platform more and what it can do for them in getting found locally.
Oh, geez, we've had a lot of people. So we don't have a board. We don't have groups of people saying this is what we want to see. We depend on the users or the members to give us feedback. And we've had some people saying, hey, we need to be able to do multiple locations, because we're not just a one shop business. We may have, it's our family owns 3 tire shops or whatever. We have it set up so that you can actually do all the work for all 3 tire shops from one location. That's in development. We're still out there a little bit, but it's exciting, because that's a lot of feedback we got from people saying, hey, I have more than just one location. I want to be able to have this ability. The other thing is the number of users that can use it. We don't have seats, is what they call it, and that beep just threw my train of thought off.
So unlimited users.
Yeah. So the unlimited users. So we have unlimited users. So you have some people that say, oh, we allow 3 users at this price, and if you want more than 3 users, we're going to charge you this. We don't. I mean, our pricing is upfront. It's unlimited users, but each location has its own has to have its own membership, if you will. In that. And then the other thing we had was a lot of customers, or I keep calling them customers, or members, and they've requested lead generation. They want to be able to contact people. They want to put it on their website so that they can have leads come in, be it request a quote, or what else, Rob? What other things are part of leads in your opinion? But
being able to track your CRM as well as part of leads. The whole piece is being able to manage that lead from the time it comes in and be able to nurture that lead to where it ends up. A lot of systems out there make it to where you have tagging. You have all these complicated systems. Ours is done in buckets. You can name the buckets whatever they want, and all it is a column. So that lead travels through whatever columns it needs to go through until you decide to archive it, or because it's a sale or not. We don't track that side, but you can basically customize that system however you want it. And that works with any website. It can be embedded anywhere. I'm excited to get that released out. I think it's going to release out later this month.
Yep.
So it sounds like that would be really useful for small businesses that have seasonal type activity, and they want to kind of pad themselves or build those leads up, store them and manage them so that their pipeline is always full.
Right. So Rob used the word CRM. Rob, what does CRM stand for?
Customer Relationship Management.
Thank you. People in the marketing and advertising world, they love their acronyms, and Rob's been in it long enough, and he right there, Rob's a good example of, if you have marketing questions, you can file that at us as well. Rob's been in the marketing world for 30 years approximately.
Probably close to it.
Yeah, and so we have, and then besides, we have other small business owners that are part of support that have been out there that can offer you suggestions. And our support team, that's a key too. We're a U.S. based support team. We don't sub that out, and so you're going to get a live person. So you're going to get the information, and when they get back to you, it's going to be on a personal level. So that's really important as well. Is that I understand your question. If you need a special video or a special document on how to do something, we will create that for you. That's the other thing. Rob and I don't fit well in a box. We don't like to be put in a box, and we've set this platform up so you're not in a box. You're able to do whatever you need to do to make your business as effective as you can make it.
Awesome. Well, I think we've covered most of it. Again, if there's anything else you guys think we want to share at this session.
No, I think we're good for this session.
I think so.
Well, to all our users out there, have a great coffee this morning. And if you have any questions at all, please get on the site. We've got a chat feature there. We've got a phone number there. Ask us any questions. We'll help you along the way. Sign up. Become a member. We've got some great people here. We're super efficient. Dean just mentioned, how we're able to offer this platform so inexpensively. We get asked that constantly. People just don't believe us. So we don't have a board. We have you guys, and you guys direct us and tell us what you like, what you don't like, and we work for you. So again, any questions, give us a shout. Any final words, gentlemen? Yeah,
just a disclaimer that we don't get paid by Yeti for product placement that John just did.
That's right. Another value.
we may have to consider that product placement on these things. But no, thanks, John, for hosting this, and I hope everybody got some value out of this.
I hope so too. Yeah. Let us know any questions. I'd love to cut some videos.
All right. Well, everybody have a great day.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you.